It's Pride Month, and you know what that means. Rock is super weird, right? The super tough, high defense type that makes for an impenetrable wall, but then give it like 5 weaknesses and no useful resistances. The only thing Rock is really good at handling is normal types, but with each passing gen, normal types get worse, and thus, so does Rock. At least competitively speaking. But this isn't competitive Pokemon. This is Legends, so let's just see how tough Rocks can really be. Our story begins 37 million years ago. Neanderthal Unga Frungo emerges from his cave, only to be caught in a freak snowstorm and frozen solid. Stuck in one place, Unga Frungo is forced to watch as time passes him by, until he is eventually thawed in the modern day by the good Dr. Mabel. She gives him a new identity as Franco, some plastic surgery to fix his brow, and sets him loose on the city of Lumios to find his way in the world. Caveman Franco doesn't understand the modern way of living. What are these strange metal boxes people sit in? Best avoid these toxi-drivors for now. What is this strange thing with voices coming out of it? Why is it flying in our face? It must be haunted. We should avoid that at all costs too. The only solace Franco can find is in these friendly rocks so reminiscent of his old life. We'll call this one Stones here, and then go hunting for more friendly rocks. Another secret rock friend can be found on this roof over here. To reach it, we'll need to do some precision Pokemon platforming. It takes several attempts, but we can eventually reach our second friend, Jet. And never mind her bad reputation, we love rocks and rolling, so she'll be a valuable ally. I also find a shiny panda, which is not a rock, so he'll just be on the bench for now for moral support. An honorable rock. As is the caveman way, Franco must lay claim to a territory and defend it with all his might. This involves chasing off intruders, like Yvonne here. We throw stones at her, but that doesn't work, so we throw stones at her instead and see what happens. Yvonne leads with her Spritzy. It takes several attempts for me to make it past Spritzy. Stones doesn't have many options right now. Rock Throw is low damage, and we don't really have the special attack to use Bubble Beam properly. And though I found some useful items, like the Quick Claw and the Dig TM, they aren't enough. What ends up making the difference is realizing the level cap for this fight is 16, not 15, so Stones can level up once and learn Rock Blast, and we can finally make it past Spritzy. Yvonne's Swirlix isn't nearly as much trouble. It only has Tackle and Fairy Wind, so Stones can beat it down and knock it out, leaving only Yvonne's ace, Vivillon, who's 4 times weak to Rock. So Yvonne is defeated, and Franco can claim this beautiful marshland for his own. The next day, Franco decides it's time for some fresh furs to switch up his look. He might be old-fashioned, but he still knows a thing or two about style. So we hunt down a garbage man and skin him for these sweet digs. When we return from our, shopping trip, we find our territory has been invaded by a small child, Zavi. We throw stones at him to chase him off. But I quickly realize that's not nearly enough. For you see, though his lead Venipede is no problem for our rock types, his next Pokemon, Roselia, is. It's a grass type, and both our Pokemon are 4 times weak to grass. We could maybe manage this if it only had one grass move. We could block it with Protect and knock Roselia out. Unfortunately, it has 2 grass moves, Magical Leaf and Razor Leaf, so it takes a little while to figure this one out. And by figure it out, I mean luck into a solution. On the winning run, we block its Magical Leaf and it goes for Sleep Powder instead of Razor Leaf, leaving it open for Stones to knock it out. We switch into Jet to take care of Zavi's Kadabra with Bite and Dig to dodge its Psybeam, and we keep Jet in to handle Zavi's ace, Furfrou. We resist its takedown and its Fire Fang. We hit it hard with Rock Slide, which I'm surprised Jet gets this early in the game, and knock it out with Bite. Zavi runs off, and Franco can relax. Or maybe not, because he's worked up a mighty appetite. Following his nose leads Franco to a nearby cave, where the owner of the cave, Rintaro, is happy to provide us with as much food as we can eat. Weirdly, he starts getting mad and saying, "Pay Bill," but that guy died 37 million years ago. So the only solution is to throw rocks at Rintaro, too. This goes bad. This goes very bad. Rintaro leads with Simisage, who, just like Roselia, is a grass type with 2 grass moves, and we're 4 times weak to it. To make matters even worse, it has Protect to dodge our attacks, and it resists our water and ground moves. After the first attempt goes bad, I stock up on Rindo Berries, which reduce the damage of grass moves. This is still not enough. After a few more attempts, I leave and try EV training our Pokemon to boost their attack, and in the process, find a shiny Ghastly. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe I should do Ghost types next. What do you think? Maybe you should leave a comment telling me what you want to see. Either way, EV training still isn't enough, but I have another plan. Using our keen hunter-gatherer instincts, I go to every wild zone and catch every single Pokemon I can, unlocking some new moves from the good Dr. Mabel, including the Ice Punch TM. That Larvitar can't learn. That sucks. I know Tyranitar gets it, but I guess not Larvitar, because Pupitar doesn't have hands, I guess? New plan. We're over-leveling. This fight is supposed to be done at level 24, we're level 29 now. To beat Simisage, we lead with Jet. We can bypass his Protect with Sand Tomb, protect against Magical Leaf, and survive Vine Whip thanks to the Rindo Berry we're holding. We switch into Stones to dodge a second Magical Leaf, and let Sand Tomb chip it down and knock it out. Next up is Simipour, who despite still having type advantage against us, isn't nearly as difficult. We can dodge its Bubble Beam by running away from it, and Stones chips it down with Rock Blast and Infestation. Rintaro's last Pokemon is Simisear, and it's weak to Rock and Ground, so Jet can come in and finish the fight. Franco decides he likes these newfangled caves better than the swamp he's currently living in, so we'll have to find a cave of our own and claim it next. This cave over here looks nice, but it already has someone living in it. Tawnie over here. Someone who's a bit of a kindred spirit. She'll let us stay, but we'll have to beat her in a fight first. Tawnie leads with Pignite, and we lead with Stones. Pignite is a fighting type, so it isn't weak to our rock moves, and it can hit us super effectively, but its only fighting move is Power-Up Punch, which Stones can tank, and knock it out with Bubble Beam. Up next is Tawnie's Bayleaf. Her grass-type Bayleaf. You know, technically I can lose this fight and still progress. All the Tawnie fights are optional, we could lose this and it would still be fine. Like, Tawnie's a chill enough person, she'd probably let us live here anyways, but something about this just makes me feel the need to prove my worth by throwing rocks at her. Also, if the other cavemen ever found out I submitted to anything Chikorita adjacent, I would never live it down. Attempt after attempt, Bayleaf takes us down. It can knock out both of my Pokemon in one shot with Giga Drain and heal itself back up to full from the damage it deals. The Rindo Berry doesn't even help, it can still almost one-shot us. We need to dodge every Leech Seed, use Protect, and a Rindo Berry just so Jet can survive a Giga Drain, and switch Jet out with perfect timing to dodge a second Giga Drain. Some 12 attempts later, and Stones manages to knock it out, and we're on to Tawnie's last Pokemon, Mega Manectric. Thankfully, it's not nearly as much trouble as Bayleaf. Jet is immune to its electric moves, and can chip it down with Sand Tomb and Rock Slide, knocking it out. Franco can move into Tawnie's cave.
That didn't come out right.
Moving on! Having only 2 Pokemon with a shared 4x weakness has put us in some tight jams, but our newest and shiniest rock friend, Pearl, can get us out of those jams. Like the one Franco finds himself in now with Vinny here. He's been tailing us for some time now, and he mentions that he collects rocks. My god, he's going to steal our rock friends! We can't let that happen! Franco whips Pearl at Vinny's head, and Vinny sends out Houndoom, and the fight is on. As a rock fairy, Pearl is resistant to all of Houndoom's attacks, giving us ample opportunity to set up Iron Defense and Light Screen to make Pearl even bulkier. Pearl knocks Houndoom out with Dazzling Gleam, and Vinny moves on to his next Pokemon, Sharpedo. It can hit us super effectively with Whirlpool and Aqua Jet, but we can counter with a super effective move of our own, and with our defenses still boosted, we can knock it out without too much trouble. Like with Houndoom, Pearl resists most of the attacks of Vinny's Buneary, and we can knock it out easily, leaving only Vinny's ace, Mega Drampa. Pearl is still a fairy type. Pearl's type has not changed since we started this fight. And Drampa goes down. So it turns out, this was all a big misunderstanding. Vinny wasn't intending on collecting our rock friends. He needs our special Stone Age brain and keen hunter-gatherer instincts to track down and collect special rocks from all over the city. He'll even let us keep some of the rocks we find along the way. Rocks and fighting wild animals. That is kind of our wheelhouse, so Caveman Franco accepts. But first, we'll have to head back to the lab where Franco was first defrosted for another rock friend. We get lucky when defrosting, and it only takes about a half an hour before we can get an Alpha Tyrant, the king of the rocks. Elvis joins the team.
Thank you very much.
I could also get an Aerodactyl and an Amora for the team, but unless I'm willing to risk spending 4 hours resetting for an alpha version of either of those, they'll be like 15 levels behind everybody else, and I'm not going to do that. Let's do some rock collecting for Vinny. To start, we evolve Jet into Pupitar. This happened before the Vinny fight, but it wasn't relevant, so... Worth noting that we will not evolve Jet again until nearly the last battle of the challenge. You might think that that sucks, but what you fail to realize is that Jet is the GOAT, and manages to outperform everybody on the team except maybe Elvis for the rest of the challenge. Early access to Earthquake and Stone Edge is a hell of a drug. She don't need no legs to dole out these butt kickins. Come to think of it, Butt Kickins would have been a much better name for this YouTube channel. Anyways, she nearly solos all 3 of the rock collecting missions Vinny sends us on, thanks to a combination of Screech, Curse, and Sand Tomb. And just to make that clear, she was 4 times weak to 2 of them. I don't even need to address the rest of the rock collecting mission mega battles, because, Jet just carries. She carries Caveman Franco all the way to our next destination. Franco has been feeling homesick. He misses hearing the ungas and bungas of his family. So we've headed to Rancine Construction, where, according to the good Dr. Mabel, our only living descendant lives. Tarragon does not appreciate our sudden arrival, and we're forced to defend ourselves. Tarragon leads with Hippowdon, and we lead with Elvis. He uses his natural charisma and charm.
You know how us rock and roll legends are.
To lower Hippowdon's attack. We can dodge its heavy slam with Protect, and freeze it with an Ice Fang, allowing Elvis to knock it out safely. We follow the same strategy for Tarragon's Diggersby. Charm to lower its attack, and Ice Fang for super effective damage. Diggersby knocks Elvis out, but that's alright. Stones can come in and finish it off. We bring in Jet to handle Tarragon's ace, Mega Excadrill. Jet can boost up with Curse and bring Excadrill down to half health with an Earthquake, but Excadrill knocks her out with Dig. Pearl comes in and uses Iron Defense to stall for time. Excadrill runs out of Mega Power right as it knocks Pearl out. And it only has a sliver of health left, so Stones can come in and finish it off with Bulldoze. Caveman Franco tries to explain to Tarragon what we're doing in his house, but before we can, Elvis evolves, having only just reached level 39 during that fight. The appearance of such an enormous and majestic beast causes Tarragon's granddaughter Canary to emerge from her gamer cave, and, like her grandfather, attack us in a panic. Canary leads with Heliolisk, and we lead with Jet. We use Protect to dodge Heliolisk's Bulldoze, and with a combination of Curse and Earthquake, knock it out in one hit. Stunfisk comes in next and hits Jet with Mudshot, but 2 more Earthquakes can take it down. I'm confident Jet could take out Canary's Ampharos, but instead of using Jet, I switched to Pearl. Pearl is immune to Ampharos' Dragon Pulse, can set up Light Screen to reduce the damage of Canary's attacks, and knocks Ampharos out with Stealth Rocks and Power Gem. The Light Screen is important, because it protects Jet when Canary's ace, Mega Electros, hits the field. Once again, Jet sets up Curse and knocks Electros out in one hit. With Canary defeated, we can finally explain why we're here, but as it turns out, our descendant, whoever that might be, doesn't live here anymore. We gave Tarragon a heart attack and threw rocks at Canary for nothing. Oh well, the search for our people continues. There are rumors of a large, brutish man wandering the streets of Lumios, followed just behind by a young girl. A possible lead on our descendant. We track the girl down, but she hides in the water cave under the city to escape us. No problem. Our newly evolved Stones can use Ice Beam to freeze the water blocking the entrance, and we can confront Gwyn about the strange man she's been spotted with. She refuses to explain herself, and attacks us instead. Gwyn leads with Bannet, and we lead with Stones. Bannet is not super tough, and Stones can take it out in only 2 hits with Rock Blast and Night Slash. I switch into Jet to handle Gwyn's Gorgeist, a dreaded grass type. This might seem confusing at first because, as we've established, grass types are bad for us, and we have Elvis now who can handle them, but I've got a special strategy I want to try out. Gorgeist hits us with Trick or Treat, turning Jet into a ghost type. Once we knock it out and Gwyn switches into her ace, Mega Chandelure, the trap is sprung. Jet uses Curse. You see, Jet's a ghost type now, so instead of boosting our stats, Curse will put a powerful damage over time effect on Chandelure. We combo that with Stealth Rocks from Pearl, and Chandelure goes down. Entirely unnecessary disrespect, but very fun. With much hesitation, Gwyn shows us Ivor, the strange man she's been hiding. Franco locks eyes with him, and knows right away He's no caveman. He's a Neanderthal's ancestral enemy. A bigfoot, be it shaved to fit into this civilized society. Gwen has been doing a Harry and the Hendersons. She wants peace between the two hominids, but it's too late. Franco whips Pearl at Ivor's head, and Ivor leads with Heracross. We set up Iron Defense as Heracross lays into us with Brick Break and Rock Blast. We hit it with Dazzling Gleam, but Heracross has a surprising amount of special bulk, so it takes a few hits for us to bring it down. Machamp comes in next, and it's a problem Pokemon for this fight. It's solely responsible for all 5 of my losses against Ivor. Bulk Up, Bulldoze, and Brick Break threaten my whole team. To beat it, I need to sacrifice Jet just to keep Pearl safe, and get a second Dazzling Gleam off, knocking Machamp out. Pearl can just barely knock out Ivor's Metacham, but doesn't have much health left when Ivor sends in his ace, Mega Phalanx. Before we have a chance to act, it knocks Pearl out with Iron Head. We send in Stones, who drops its defense with Screech and hits it with a Liquidation, but he goes down too, and it all comes down to Elvis. He can survive a Brick Break and an Iron Head and heal up thanks to the berry he's holding. We get a Clutch Burn with Fire Fang, cutting Phalanx's attack, and the Phalanx runs out of Mega Power, but it doesn't matter, because Elvis finishes it off. No, get out of here! Get out of here, you big dumb animal! Be free! Go! I'll miss you. The loneliness is starting to get to Franco, and the only way to solve it is with more rock friends. We catch Metallica and Whitesnake. Both are alphas because they really need the extra HP. It's worth noting that, though both of these Pokemon have Mega Evolutions, I would have to give up their rock typing to make that happen, so no Mega Aggron and no Steelix, period. On our way back to see Tawnie, our only true human friend, we bump into Philippe. And look at that pronounced brow. Smell the stench in the air. Look at his diet of raw meat, nuts, and seeds. Franco says Unga, and Philippe says Bunga. I've found my people. And we start throwing rocks at each other. We lead with Jet, and Philippe leads with Steelix. Jet can keep a safe distance from Steelix and its Stealth Rocks by setting up a Curse, and block its Heavy Slam with Protect. We then throw down a Sand Tomb and hit Steelix with Earthquake. While Steelix tries to set up another Stealth Rocks, Sand Tomb hits it again, knocking it out. Philippe switches into Scizor, and we send in Elvis, who hits it with Fire Fang, bringing it down to red health, where our lingering Sand Tomb finishes it off. Philippe's last Pokemon is his Mega Skarmory. We keep in Elvis, who hits it with Fire and Thunderfang, but gets knocked out by Drill Run. We send in a now fully evolved Metallica, who tanks Drill Run despite being 4 times weak to it, and knocks Skarmory out with Thunder Punch and Iron Tail. Philippe takes us back to his cave, the Rust Syndicate, where we meet Corbeau. Corbeau is just about the least caveman person I've ever seen. Franco is confused. How could these people both be part of the same tribe? Corbeau explains that the Rust Syndicate is a diet center, and Philippe is on something called Paleo. Franco is even more confused and scared, and starts throwing rocks. We throw Jet at him, and he sends in Arbok. Arbok tries to poison us with Toxic, but Jet is holding a Lumberry to prevent that, and with a simple combo of Curse and Earthquake, Arbok goes down. Corbeau sends in Gyarados next. I keep Jet in just to see if she can one-shot Gyarados with Stone Edge, but not quite. So I switch in Metallica to keep Jet safe, and knock Gyarados out with Iron Head. Corbeau's Roserade is no match for Metallica, who can block Giga Drain and knock it out with Heavy Slam and Iron Head, leaving only Corbeau's ace, Mega Scolipede. We switch in Stones, who, thanks to rock collecting with Vinny, can Mega Evolve. Scolipede blocks our Rock Blast with Protect and hits us with Earthquake. But its only other attack is a 4 times resisted Gunk Shot, so Stones can roll it with Stone Edge and Rock Blast. After making a hasty escape from the Rust Syndicate, Franco finds a visitor waiting for him outside his cave. Lebane here was told to collect Franco and bring him to see her master. Franco would rather stay at his cave, but Lebane insists we come with her, and it turns into a fight. Lebane leads with Noivern, and we lead with Pearl. Noivern attempts to cut our health with Super Fang, but Pearl blocks it with Protect and knocks Noivern out with Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam. Lebane sends in her Tyrantrum next, and we again use Protect, this time to block Earthquake. Pearl then sets up Iron Defense and knocks Tyrantrum out. Garchomp comes in, and we hit it with Moonblast while it sets up Swords Dance. We Protect to dodge its 4 times effective Iron Head, and survive its boosted Earthquake with 1 health left, allowing Pearl to knock it out with a Moonblast. Lebane's ace is her Mega Dragalge, who surprisingly starts ripping through our team thanks to its Hydro Pump. It knocks out Whitesnake and Metallica, but we've weakened it enough so that Elvis can come in and finish it off with Dragon Claw. We defeat Lebane's Pokemon, but it's too late. Just because we won the fight doesn't mean we can win in the cutscene, as she tranks Franco and we're carted off to Jacinthe's marvelous menagerie of man, past, present, and future. People are here from all walks of life in this human zoo to represent what a human can be. Caveman Franco is what we once were. Shaved Bigfoot Ivor is here to see what we could have been. Canary is a streamer, so she's used to this kind of thing, and Corbeau is a vegan. Franco's only hope to escape is to make himself a problem by fighting his fellow captives and biting the hand that feeds him. We sick Jet on Canary. She can easily take down most of her Pokemon, though Metallica has to come in to finish the fight. Worth noting that Jet could evolve at this point, but I'd rather not have an extra fighting or fairy weakness for the upcoming fights, so Pupitar remains. To fight our ancestral enemy Ivor, we use Pearl to take down his team, and then everybody else has to come in to stall out his Phalanx's Mega Power to take it down. Jet got the kill though. And lastly, to take out Corbeau, we use Metallica, who can easily sweep through his team while shrugging off his attacks. With the other captives defeated, Zookeeper Jacinthe comes in to check on us. Now's our chance to escape. We'll just have to fight our way through. Jacinthe leads with Carbink, and we lead with Metallica. Metallica can one-shot Carbink with Heavy Slam. Mawile comes in next, and it takes a few hits with Heavy Slam, Iron Head, and Iron Tail, but we take it down too. Jacinthe sends in Gardevoir. It tries to set up Calm Mind, but Jacinthe's Aurorus doesn't fare much better. It tries to block our steel attacks but gets overwhelmed, and we're onto Jacinthe's ace, Mega Clefable. We send in Jet to handle this one. She's resistant to Clefable's Mystic Fire, and with Rock Slide and Stone Edge, we can knock Clefable out. Having escaped the human zoo, Caveman Franco has nowhere to turn. We can't impose on Tawnie any further, and there's still no sign of our one true descendant. We hide in with a group of New Age rock worshippers for a little while, and they give us a special stone, the Eviolite, which will greatly boost the defense of the unevolved Whitesnake. For a brief moment, I did consider giving this to Jet, but Whitesnake needs their chance to shine. Our moment of peace is ruined when we're found by Grisham and Grizel. They've been looking for us for a while now. Do they work for Jacinthe? Who knows? The only thing we know for sure is that we won't let them take us alive. We start throwing rocks. Grizel defends herself with Talonflame, and it's finally Whitesnake's chance to shine. Whitesnake can knock out Talonflame in a single hit with Stone Edge. Against Grizel's Camerupt, we boost up with Curse and begin chipping it down with Sand Tomb. Look at how little damage we take from its super effective Earthquake. Eviolite is putting in the real work here. We knock Camerupt out, and Aerodactyl comes in. Stone Edge is the only move we have that can hit it, so there's a little bit of waiting, but Whitesnake takes it down too. Metagross has potential to be a problem. We block its Ice Punch with Protect and begin chipping it down with a Curse-boosted Sand Tomb. Eventually, Metagross knocks Whitesnake out, but our Sand Tomb lingers and finishes it off, leaving only Grizel's ace, Mega Pyroar. We send in the Stones, who hit it with a Stab Liquidation, and then Mega Evolve to dodge Earth Power, then knock Pyroar out with Stone Edge. Grisham approaches and tries to de-escalate the situation, but Franco's worked himself into a Paleolithic frenzy, and a fight is all but guaranteed. Grisham leads with Pangoro, and we send in Pearl. We set up an Iron Defense and block its 4x super effective Bullet Punch with Protect. Pangoro blocks our Dazzling Gleam, but we can knock it out with one hit with Moonblast. Malamar comes in next, and it hits Pearl with a Hypnosis, slowing down our attack speed. We still have the type advantage though, so we can knock it out without too much trouble. Grisham sends in his Pyroar, and we switch Pearl out for Whitesnake. Pyroar tries to hit us with Earth Power, but we can block it and throw down a Sand Tomb to chip away at it. Pyroar brings Whitesnake down to just a sliver of health, but goes down first. Tyranitar switches in, and we bring out Stones, who hits it with Brick Break to take it down. With Tyranitar beaten, we can finally reveal our own Tyranitar, Jet, who didn't just evolve, she Mega Evolves, and takes down Grisham's Salamence in a single Ice Punch. Told you she could learn it. Grisham sends in his ace, Mega Charizard. We can bait out its Protect with Ice Punch, and block its Dragon Rush with a Protect of our own. We allow it to hit us with a Flare Blitz to guarantee our Stone Edge hits, and Jet one-shots it. With Grisham and Grizel defeated, Franco calms down, and we can finally hear what they have to say. It turns out they work for the good Dr. Mabel, and they were sent to tell Franco that they finally found his one living descendant. When looking through old records, they found that Tawnie once had the same brow surgery as Franco. We head straight over to Tawnie and embrace our great granddaughter. And together, we start throwing rocks at each other like a family. Tawnie leads with Meowstick, and we lead with Stones. Meowstick sets up Light Screen and Reflect, but while it's doing that, Stones beats it down with Night Slash and Liquidation. Once Meowstick is weakened, we can finish it off with Brick Break, removing the screens it set up. Tawnie sends in her Embor next. It buffs itself up with Bulk Up and hits us with Thunder Punch. It's my fault. I didn't time to protect right, and Embor ends up taking Stones down with Flare Blitz. We send in Pearl to get us out of this jam by weakening it with Power Gem and knocking it out with Stealth Rocks. Tawnie's Goodra comes in next, and we switch Pearl out for Metallica. Goodra can hit us with a super effective Surf, but between our Steel attacks and Ice Punch, Metallica can take it down. Metallica struggles to break through Tawnie's Avalugg, despite having the type advantage. We can weaken it down to a sliver of health before it knocks us out, but it's alright, because Pearl can come in and finish it off with Power Gem. We send in Whitesnake, who can make short work of Tawnie's Manectric with Sand Tomb and Stone Edge, and we're on to Tawnie's ace, Mega Meganium, the ultimate grass type. Elvis puts up a solid effort against it with Fire Fang and Head Smash, but its fairy typing is too much for the king to handle. Pearl gets knocked out with Giga Drain, healing Meganium, and I'm left to decide between Whitesnake, who's 4 times weak to grass, or Jet, who's weak to both of Meganium's types. We choose Jet, and Mega Evolve her right away to dodge Dazzling Gleam. Meganium nearly heals itself back up to full with a Giga Drain, but we can knock its health all the way back down again with Stone Edge, and Jet can finish it off with one last Ice Punch. Caveman Franco has finally found his people, and now he'll never have to be lonely again. Unrelated note, there's a giant flower threatening to eat the city. I knew grass types were a problem, but this is ridiculous. The fight consists of 3 phases. For the first phase, we send in Whitesnake, who can chip down the final boss little by little by layering sand tombs on top of each other. Caveman Franco can keep himself safe by hiding behind these friendly rubble rocks. In the second phase, the boss adds a toxic attack to its moveset that can knock out Whitesnake, but we can switch over to Metallica, who keeps a safe distance with Rock Slide, and of all things, Whirlpool, which is basically a weaker version of Sand Tomb. For the final phase, we have to dart back and forth to avoid the boss's Thunderbolt attacks. But a Mega Evolved Jet is more than up to the task, and we can finish the fight with what else but Sand Tomb. With the giant flower defeated, the city of Lumiose is safe, but Caveman Franco realizes that perhaps he's not suited for life in this modern world. So he goes to Tawnie, and together the two will be cryo-frozen by the good Dr. Mabel. Hopefully, when they wake up, it'll be in a time that's better suited for them. A better future. Hey, thanks a bunch for watching. As always, like the video, subscribe if you're interested in seeing more stuff like this, and leave a comment just for me, because I genuinely love reading those things from you guys. I might do something that's not Pokemon next time. I might make myself suffer through something Mina the Hollower. If you guys are interested in anything else, let me know, please, and take care. Bye-bye.